Hey everybody, Dread Apocalypse here. Haven't done one of these videos in a while. Last time I was in my truck, one time I was near the washing machine. This time, just do it right here, my office chair, relaxing. Anyway, a couple things to talk about. Today's climate. So, had a few things I wanted to talk about. Let's start with people like Tucker Carlson and Skip Bayless, right? They say the most outlandish stuff to get you to watch them on TV. Because when you watch them, the ratings go up, they get advertising dollars, and they make money. So essentially, stop paying attention to them. They don't say anything that anyone needs to hear. They're both basically just caricatures of a newsman and character of a sportscaster. There's no need to spend any more time or any of your attention watching either one of those idiots. Next, we're going to segue into truth about videos on YouTube, right? Or any other sort of service that you find on the internet where they're just like, oh, the real truth about 9/11, the real truth about Tide, the real truth about insert random subject here. These people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So when you listen to them, they don't know. They don't know. They say they know, but they don't know. They don't have any other information that you can't yourself find, okay? So they're not enlightened. There's no point in watching those videos either. There's a big, and then I guess I'll segue from that to PragerU videos. Excellent production value, all horseshit. It looks like it's supposed to be good. They cite things. They're like, oh, it looks really official. PragerU kind of sounds like maybe the U stands for university, but it's not a university. Prager's just a guy's name, and they are pushing their propaganda, which is generally loosely based in truth, but generally untruthful. So don't spend any time on PragerU videos either. Next, we'll go to, it's okay to admit when you're wrong. A lot of people don't like that. I myself fall into that category often, but it's okay to admit when you're wrong. Like, let's say it's 2016 and you really don't like a certain Democratic candidate for president, so you throw your support behind a celebrity East Coast elite while simultaneously saying you don't give a crap what celebrities say or East Coast elites, and say like you hope that maybe he's gonna do some things you like and be less of a caricature of a billionaire. But that obviously didn't pan out, and that's okay. We all make mistakes, but you don't have to keep making the same mistakes over and over. You can say, you know what? I gambled, I lost, I'm moving on. This isn't who I want to be associated with, But, you got to take a good hard look at yourself. If someone has a hard time just saying, I condemn white supremacists, it's not hard to say. It shouldn't even be a question we have to ask, yet here we are. But it's okay to admit, things were different. I really hated that Hillary woman, blah, 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 whatever. You had your reasons back then, but it's not Hillary anymore. And you could at least say back then you didn't know what it was going to be like. Now we know what it's like. And there's precious few reasons. I can't actually think of any, but some people might throw some out there and be like, oh, well, he did this, that, and the other, and he's a businessman, even though, he cheats on his taxes. I'd cheat on my taxes if I could too. Well, here's a pro tip. You're not him. You're never gonna be him. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you're never gonna be rich. Those tax breaks that he's taking advantage of, you're not gonna be able to ever take advantage of that. So you're basically just getting built. Every dollar that he doesn't pay, guess what? You and I pay that shit. So he's basically just a bullshitter, carny barker, and what he says isn't true, but that's who we are as Americans, right? And that there's a whole, and so that brings me to QAnon conspiracies. Like you have Pizzagate, Wayfair, like I'm going to order, a child that's been sex trafficked in a Wayfair cabinet that has the same name as a child that was kidnapped, because, if you're a kidnapper, you definitely don't want to make up a name for your victim. You want to definitely use their real name because you definitely don't want them to figure it out. So that definitely don't want to make it hard on them. They being the the internet sleuths, right? Because they're like, oh, I found this name, Clara was kidnapped and this cabinet's called Clara. I bet she's in that cabinet and they're going to send it to me for 10 grand. Yeah, that's it. They're like, someone kidnapped Clara and then sold her, not changing her name to any other name in the world because it literally doesn't matter. Like that's, so these are the same people making the truth about videos where they're like, oh, I have a degree in bullshit, so people will listen to me. It's all nonsense. But we as Americans are super into things like, flashy, untrue carny barkers. So that's why people like Tucker Carlson exist. Again, it kind of circles back to the top of this video. He's great, right? And so that kind of brings me to algorithms of the internet. Algorithms don't give a crap about what's true, about what's right, what's wrong, what's morally acceptable, what's morally unacceptable. They will feed you whatever you click on and more stuff like that. And if you click on a Pizzagate video, you're getting more crap like that because the algorithm doesn't care. It just wants your eyeballs on whatever you're looking at, be it, your phone screen, your computer screen, your TV, whatever. It wants you to stay longer. And the longer you stay, the more ads they can push to you. The more ads they push to you, the more money they make. That's just the business model. That's the business model of Tucker Carlson. That's the business model of Skip Bayless. And we have got to do better of not falling for that crap. I'm specifically talking to that age group, 40 to 55-ish. If you're over 55, well, we'll say 60. If you're over 60, you're not using the internet anyway, other than maybe you're looking up some sewing patterns for your quilting. That's fine. But in between there, you confuse internet videos for actual news, and you're being told all the time by a certain president, it's fake news, fake this, fake that. And I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? There's a whole profession of journalism that they teach in universities dedicated to the prospect of getting it right, getting sources, documenting stuff. And then on the other hand, you have a bunch of jackwagons making videos that maybe got a high school diploma and then they got a cool software editing package where they can, software video editing package, there it is, where they have these cool videos where it makes it look like they know what the fuck they're talking about, but they don't. They're just making shit up because they are not professionals, okay? And so you shouldn't confuse them for that. And I'll end on this. Defunding the police. You would think that the grand old party, right? The good old GOP, the party of limited government and physical conservative would be all about defunding the police, right? Because police come to your house and they get in your business and they try to tell you what to do, right? They're trying to infringe on your freedoms. Police work for the government, you guys, right? I don't know if we forgot that, but generally speaking, limited government doesn't include funding the crap out of police so they can come and spy on you, whatever, and that's the other thing too. I see all these people clamoring for federal agents to show up to your cities to enforce curfews. Is that the world you want to live in? Put yourself in that position. You want federal cops showing up on your porch telling you can't leave your house? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't give a crap what's going on in my city. I don't need the feds telling me my business, okay? These are local issues. And if, I'll use Portland as an example. If Portland doesn't want federal help with their particular situation, then it should not be sent without their want. And if the mayor mismanages, that's up to their citizens to elect a new mayor that may handle the situation different next time. But it's not the feds' jobs to come in there and protect federal courthouses by creating 6-block perimeters and whisking people away in unmarked cars. Like, who does that sort of thing? The Stasi comes to mind. I can't think of any American police force that would be known for such things. I'm sure it probably happened to minorities, back in the... Probably still does, who knows? I'm not a minority, so I can't really speak to that too much. Anyway, that's just a few topics. This video is creeping up on 10, so if you made it this far, thanks. Maybe I'll do another shorter video. I didn't get to things such as GOP being fiscal conservatives and free market and how ridiculous it is to try to pass off tariffs like Foreign companies are like, we pay tariffs, you guys. Come on. All right. That's all.